Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and thank you to all the new subscribers and being part of this weather community. All right, let's just get right to it. This is what we're watching, what will become Ernesto. In this video, I want to show you how it becomes eventually a hurricane. The timing of that, though, will be critical, and there will be track changes. It's actually easier to track a system that's already developed, has an eye, versus a system that is in the development stages. A little more uncertainty with that, but I want to get into the wind impacts, break it down island by island, and I want to take a look at some of the rain, and then I want to show you the computer model that shows the winds with this that will be rolling into parts of the Caribbean as this continues to strengthen. We'll get into all the models to all of the outlooks in this video right here. So here we are in the Caribbean. Here's a key front to the north, and we are watching that is building. Here's a closer look. Now, I mentioned a couple days ago some of that dry air. It's fighting off some of that dry air, so you see it here. It is starting to gradually get better organized. It will not become a named system today. Could by tomorrow, more likely though by Tuesday. That's when it should be a named system, and then by Tuesday it's pretty much right on top of us. Here we are in Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, get back toward Dominica, Antigua, and Barbuda, and I'm still keeping an eye on these other tropical waves. It'll be busy, of course. I don't mean that in a scary way, but we know that this hurricane season's already been off to a fast start, and really the three biggest months are all out ahead of us, the rest of August, September, October, even potentially into early November. Now, this is the key. Safety first. We are taking action from Puerto Rico, British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda, right down through Martinique, St. Lucia, and Barbados. We may get some feeder bands. I'm not ever losing sight of Barbados and St. Lucia, of course. I'll broaden out the picture and show you that. But as far as action goes, we all have different means, resources, time to put into these things. I try to narrow it down best I can. But Martinique swinging all the way back toward Puerto Rico, action mode. What does that mean? We're taking those preparations for a tropical storm moving in and potentially a hurricane, especially British and U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. At this point, it should eventually strengthen into a hurricane. Now, the Dominican Republic and Haiti, I'm hoping that I don't wish this on anyone. Hopefully it takes more of a curve up into the water eventually. The Dominican Republic, we are in monitor mode, just keeping a close eye on this. Haiti, of course, we're keeping a close eye on this as well. But another day to see if this will kind of start to curve near Puerto Rico, or if we'll have some of the greater impacts over toward the Dominican Republic. So monitor mode over toward the Dominican Republic. Now, here is the most likely path, and as expected, I'll make some subtle changes with this. Not too many changes other than an earlier curve with this. Yesterday, it was looking a little bit more toward the Dominican Republic, so I've shifted the track outlook just a little bit more to the east based on that front to the north. I don't just look at the models, I look at the environmental conditions. That's the most important thing. The front to the north should be a little stronger, which could tug it a bit more to the north. Monday, tomorrow, it should really start to strengthen. Could become a name, but more so on Tuesday. It should be a tropical storm when it's passing near Antigua, Barbuda, Guadeloupe, over toward St. Kitts and Nevis, over toward Statia, Saba, and then eventually on Wednesday, that's when it will either be a strong tropical storm or a hurricane very close to, say, St. Croix, and then swinging back toward Puerto Rico. At that point, it should be strengthening, and then it will strengthen further as it lifts up to the north. So keeping my eye on what's going on over toward Bermuda down the road. And you can see a bit of the swing here, right? These are the models, these squiggly lines. Now, a system is bigger than just one line. So take this red line, for example. If this were to come right over here, well, this is going to be, a bigger system. We'd be feeling some of the rain bands over toward Barbados and St. Lucia. So this is just showing where the center may pass, but this would bring it into the northeastern Caribbean, the center, and then start to make that curve near the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. That's why I mentioned Haiti and the Dominican Republic, just in monitor mode right now, hoping it takes more of a swing quicker. And then here's Bermuda. It does get a little bit worse, the outlook potentially for Bermuda, but it's very dynamic. Once things lift in latitude, they could swing either way. So Bermuda, of course, we are watching this together. Now, this map, a bit crazy. I'll break it down further, though. coming up. This is out in time, 12 hours, 24 hours, 36. Here we are, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and this will continue to strengthen. So in about a day or so, it should become a tropical storm. This green shading here, that's why I mentioned tomorrow into Tuesday becoming a tropical storm, and then by the time we get into Wednesday, it should become a hurricane right on the edge of that, and then it will strengthen further. Could be a major hurricane as it lifts to the north of Puerto Rico, but I always watch for any rapid intensification. So watching that very carefully with those hot pockets that I was talking about yesterday. You could look back in yesterday's video. The heat content, the warm water, all of that stuff. Again, these can spin up quickly, so please know behind the scenes, I'm watching it. I don't want to put out a video every 10 minutes. I want to put out the accurate information so you have it. When I get new information that is pertinent, I will put that out, but I don't want to just create the hype by flooding video after video. So giving you my best shot always, but know I'm watching this behind the scenes. Now here's a breakdown. This map, a lot going on here. I know I'll post this on Instagram too, so you could have that. Breakdown of some of the highest wind outlook as it stands now. Puerto Rico, this may go up. If this develops into a hurricane quicker, we may be talking about winds at around 100 miles per hour. That is a possibility. But right now, based on what I'm seeing from what I've been watching overnight and this morning, as this starts to work in near Guadalupe, so you take Montserrat, Guadalupe, for example, the highest wind outlook, we could have winds of 70 miles per hour or 110 kilometers an hour as this moves in. Dominica, Martinique, about 60 miles per hour or 95 kilometers an hour. And we'll get some squally weather, Barbados, St. Lucia, some gustier winds. You get over toward Antigua, Barbuda, as this develops into a tropical storm as it passes by us. We're looking at winds of 65 miles per hour or 105 kilometers an hour. And you get more to the north near St. Barth, St. Martin, Anguilla, 60 mile per hour, 95 kilometers an hour, highest winds. There could be some higher gust within this. And again, watching to see how quickly this strengthens. All of these numbers would go up if this strengthens sooner. You get back towards Ceiba, Statia, St. Kitts and Nevis, winds could be around 70 miles per hour or 110 kilometers an hour. Now, the British Virgin Islands in St. John, St. Thomas, the northern U.S. Virgin Islands, winds could be around 75 miles per hour, 120 kilometers an hour. So we're making those hurricane preparations, 74 miles per hour or higher. That makes it a hurricane. As you get toward the southern U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Croix, winds could be around 85 miles per hour, 135 kilometers an hour. And again, in Puerto Rico, winds around 85 miles per hour. If this develops sooner, if it really starts to strengthen, I will adjust this. But I just want to give you kind of the best feel. I'll adjust that track some. I'll adjust the wind some. So this is kind of the outlook for the winds. Let me show you the rain. And this will shift some too. But you see these brighter colors, some of this black showing in here. Guadalupe, near Dominica, Martinique. This is a 3-day total. So this only takes us out through Tuesday. This doesn't bring us out until Wednesday yet. I want to see the track, but you could get the idea. These totals in here, millimeters and inches, easily 150 millimeters or 6 inches of rain. We could have about 6 to 10 inches of rain as this moves in, but this would expand by the time we hit Wednesday right toward, say, the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. So just kind of monitoring the track. But of course, with any tropical system, a name or even not name, as we know, just a strong tropical disturbance can give us a ton of rain. So watching the mudslide potential and watching out for that just flood potential with some of the higher amounts. Now, all the models eventually making this a hurricane. It's a matter of when, basically right around the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. That's when I do believe it will spin up into a hurricane. European, American, which is the GFS, the Canadian model, all have this eventually becoming a hurricane. The Icon German model, which has done a very good job this season with forecasting, as it has the American model, again, all have this as a hurricane. And a lot of the models are very similar. I want to show you the American model. I want to zoom down, and I want to get into the European model in a moment. Now, I mentioned those environmental conditions. Aside from the models, what I'm watching, this is by Tuesday. A ton going on this map, right? I know, a lot of lines, a lot of colors. Here's the developing system into a tropical storm by Tuesday, approaching the northeastern Caribbean. Keep an eye on the wind shear. The wind shear is a good thing. We like high wind shear. Those are winds kind of way up high that knock across the developing storms that are building in a hurricane. So we want wind shear. Unfortunately, there's not a ton of wind shear. You see these brighter colors? That would be a lot of wind shear. There's not a lot out ahead of it. So I do expect that gradual strengthening and even quicker strengthening as we get deeper into the the upcoming week. So that's what's going on above us. Not the best of news. I wish there was more wind shear. And of course, these water temperatures, just updated this map, 30 to 31 degrees Celsius. So we're looking at 86 to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. And the water goes down deep as well. The warm water goes down deep. So as this system kind of rolls across, it just churns up more water, warm water. The warm water is the energy for these systems, and that's why it will continue to strengthen. Now, let me start the broad view. Then I want to zoom down and I want to show you that close-in wind map, which is very critical. Here's the American model, which did a very good job with an excellent job forecasting Debbie. You can see watching these fronts to the north, here's Bermuda. High pressure starting to move away. That's the blocker. I'll show you that with the European model too. But these fronts are what we're watching. The fronts here could kind of help pull these systems to the north. Let me bring you into tomorrow. Tomorrow we're still finishing up the preps. So we're making those preps, getting them done. Here it is, trying to develop tomorrow further. It should start to really organize tomorrow. May or may not become a name system tomorrow, more likely on Tuesday, but organizing. And then as we go from Tuesday, or rather Monday into Tuesday, that's when it should become a name system. By the time we get into Tuesday, and you see some of these rain bands that could clip us by Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, some heavier rain at times, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but most of it to the north. Of course, Beryl came through here. This here, not showing signs of a barrel in the short term, but coming through a little bit more to the north, so different areas. We'll be getting some of the heavier rain. And then by Wednesday, that's when it will be a strong tropical storm or becoming a hurricane at that point. I'll zoom down to this sector in a moment. Here are these fronts up to the north. So high pressure moves away, that's the blocker. The fronts could kind of influence and grab this. These systems, like the path of least resistance, when they get a window to move north, they take it. And you see it getting tied into the front. Here's Bermuda. This is by Thursday. Now the Bahamas. I'm watching the Bahamas carefully and the Turks and Caicos. Right now the news is a little better, keeping it generally off toward the east. But please know in the Bahamas, I am watching this, as you well know, and then you can see it here trying to lift to the north. So if it were to stay on a track like this would be much better news for the entire 700 plus islands of the Bahamas. And then deeper into the week, though, we don't wish this on anyone, as I mentioned, as we get into the upcoming weekend, that's when next week, I'll be watching Bermuda. But that's a lot of days away. That's we're talking a week away. Maybe this takes more of a hook. Maybe it's closer to the U.S. A wait and see on that. Now here's that closer look. I want to show you the winds and that European model. So here's Puerto Rico. You get over towards St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John here. Here's Dominica. Here's Martinique. Here's Guadeloupe. Now this is through the day tomorrow. A little bit breezy at times, but generally aside from a passing shower, not a whole lot. It's by Tuesday. That's when it starts to roll in. This is Tuesday, later in the morning, some very squally weather, tropical storm conditions. Even if it's not a name on Tuesday, we're going to have those tropical storm wind gusts. I showed you that breakdown island by island with some of the winds. Heavier weather works in through the day on Tuesday. This is by the time we get into Wednesday morning. You see here 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. At this point, it should be strengthening, definitely a tropical storm at this point, and then trying to form into a hurricane. The brighter color, simply the heavier weather. Here's Dominica, Saba, Stasia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and then that heaviest weather works in British, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico as we go throughout the day on Wednesday, deeper into Wednesday. At that point, it could become a hurricane. Here's the Dominican Republic. It depends on how soon it makes the turn for the DR and Haiti, but this could be a hurricane right on top of Puerto Rico, and then trying to lift up to the north by the time we get into Thursday. Worst weather, Puerto Rico, in the British and U.S. Virgin Islands would be Wednesday, and then you get over toward Saba, Stasia, St. Kitts and Nevis, again, looking at Tuesday all the way down through Dominica. Anguilla, if this takes a quicker turn, that could mean some higher impacts for us over towards St. Martin, St. Bart's, and Anguilla, and of course the heavy gusty winds starting on Tuesday for us as we work our way toward Antigua and Barbuda. Here are the winds, and you can see it here. I want to cover all the scales, so we have kilometers an hour and miles per hour on the map. This is later today. Typical stuff, some gusty winds at times, not a big issue. Let me bring you into Monday. This is tomorrow. Still, the system is just off to the east of us on Monday. So let's go into Tuesday. Here's Tuesday. Let me stop the clock here. Tuesday morning, and you see that spin right there. Here's St. Lucia, and here comes that spin. The whiter color showing 50-mile-per-hour winds or 80 kilometers an hour, making it a tropical storm on Tuesday. There's the core of it right there. Gusty winds in Anguilla, back through St. Bart's, St. Martin, Antigua, and Barbuda, and then heavier weather, St. Kitts Kitts and Nevis, Statia, Saba, Montserrat. Montserrat could be right on top of us. This is by Tuesday, 8 p.m. So as we get into Tuesday evening, a little red showing up telling me it's going to be strengthening. Some of the gusts 70 miles per hour or 110 kilometers an hour. And look at that red showing up in there. That would be some of those hurricane conditions possible. Here's St. Croix. Here's the center of it. Wednesday morning, very heavy weather through the Virgin Islands. Tropical storm or hurricane conditions moving in on Wednesday. Still the backside, some gusty winds all the way up through Anguilla. And then you see through the day on Wednesday, hurricane or tropical storm conditions, Puerto Rico and those Virgin Islands. You see the red and even some yellow starting to show up. Those could be winds of 90 miles per hour or about 145 kilometers an hour. So this is Wednesday throughout the day. So Wednesday, that would be the worst weather in this sector. And then the center of it, as we get into deeper on Wednesday, starts to gradually lift to the north. And then by the time we get into Thursday, this system will be pulling to the north. Here's the Dominican Republic. And you can see if it stays on this heading, that would keep the worst weather just off to the east, and that would be the same case for the Bahamas down the road. You see it kind of lifting up to the north, and heaviest weather would be to the east of the Turks and Caicos. This is by Thursday morning. Could see some of those feeder bands with gusty winds, but Thursday there would be some of those improvements. Now to show you the steering conditions, here is the European model, here is the Caribbean, here is this developing system. And again, as I was mentioning earlier, the models, there's no real discrepancy. They're very much the same so far. So it's just going to be those minor track shifts. And the biggest thing will be to watch is how quickly it intensifies. Hopefully it doesn't intensify. Hopefully it intensifies slowly. I don't want it to intensify at all, but if it's going to do so, we don't need any rapid intensification. This here is by tomorrow. The area of high pressure, that blocker, that keeps things going west, like what happened with Beryl, the blocker moves away. So that allows this to take a turn. Here is the front. You've got this front up here coming in a little bit stronger, path of least resistance, so it's going to eventually make a turn. But in the short term, as we get into tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm very cautious to see how quickly it builds into hurricane strength, because we've seen the things go from nothing to something very quickly. But this here, northeastern Caribbean, tropical storm on top of us as we work our way into Tuesday. Here's the front, and you see that area of high pressure. It is well off to the east, so this is going to start to feel the front. The fronts are the grabbers. It'll help grab it and then eventually lift it up to the north. Now, let me take you out in time just to give you a sample, and this will change some down the road, though. I want to show you the uncertainty, how dynamic things are once you get down the road. So this should be a hurricane here on Wednesday. That's what the European model has. On top of Puerto Rico and then lifting to the north, right? Just showed you that. And then continuing to lift to the north, getting tied into the front here. So just taking you out in time deeper into next week. This is by Thursday. And of course, all eyes in the Bahamas watching this. European model, though, showing this to the east. Bermuda watching this. High pressure builds away. Yes, this front is kind of lifting it up to the north. But after that, clearly a ton of uncertainty late in the upcoming week. Let me take you into Friday and then into the upcoming weekend. This is by Friday. Here's Bermuda right here. Now, the European model today is showing, hey, this will track right over Bermuda. It's a wait and see, because look, as we get down the road into next weekend, there's so much going on. We'll have this here as a hurricane, Hurricane Ernesto, and then another little area of high pressure tries to sneak in. We have another front back to the west, just a lot going on. Will this area of high pressure build in? If it builds in and is stronger, this could swing it a little bit more back to land, which would not be a good thing, of course. So it just depends on this area of high pressure, how it builds in, and this front. So does it kind of just swing north and stay over the water north of Bermuda, or does it swing back? Wait and see, kind of depending on that area of high pressure way down the road, 7-8 days away. Now you can see how things build here with this model here, taking you out in time. This is feet, this is meters. These are the wave heights and what we'll be dealing with, the direction of those swells. Look at Tuesday. Here's Tuesday. Very dangerous stuff, about 5 meters. So we're talking upwards of about 15 to 20 feet, and simply things are going to build. As this system gets better organized, you can see these brighter colors, 6+ meters. We're looking at 20+ feet, especially just to the north of the Virgin Islands and around the Virgin Islands, but just to the north. And then you can see here, this is by the time we get into Thursday, just a large, powerful system at this point. Hopefully it's sitting right over water on Thursday, watching Bermuda down the road, but of course, all of these swells will be building, and the waves will be building, no doubt. Now, the next name on the list is Ernesto. It doesn't have a name yet. Looks like Tuesday, that's when it should get a name, Tropical Storm Ernesto. Wednesday is when it could become a hurricane, and I'll adjust that going forward. Francine and Gordon would be next, then Helene, Isaac, Joyce as we get down the road. Now, short term, here we are in the Caribbean watching some scattered showers and storms just coming out of your screen right there. That's what will become Ernesto. Some heavier weather, Bay of Campeche. We've been seeing some scattered areas of rain and storms, Jamaica, Cayman Islands. There's been a few showers around even this morning. So generally scattered stuff, right? This is for today. Here's St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad. There's that area we're watching. So as we go out in time, tomorrow everything's going to get closer. So those areas that are in action mode are making those preparations. This is by tomorrow. And you see Barbados by tomorrow night. We're going to start to get some gustier winds moving in, and that higher potential of some rain right on the edge of St. Lucia and Barbados Monday night, Tuesday morning. And then by the time we get into Tuesday, this is what I was showing you earlier, again, scattered showers and storms across parts of Central America. And then this here should be a tropical storm at that point, basically on top of us. And you see those feeder bands that kind of work in, right? Those are some of the areas scattered, but areas of rain and storms stretching from the south. And then this area on Wednesday, right over Puerto Rico as a tropical storm, more likely though as a hurricane. Here's Haiti, the DR, Turks and Caicos, and the Bahamas. This is on Wednesday. Eastern Pacific quieter, just watching that little blob there, but not really seeing any signs of development. And quieter back toward the Atlantic region of Canada. Quebec today, we could see some rain and storms, but the remnants of Debbie pretty much said and done with. So we'll see some scattered showers and storms Atlantic region of Canada. Also watching down to the south, much like Bermuda, to see what happens with this developing system, to see if it will be close by eventually as we get into, say, a week plus from now. So that's very dynamic. That'll be changing some. Short term, spotty showers and storms, again, hit or miss over the next couple days. Could get 25 millimeters to an inch of rain. I focused in on the northeastern Caribbean earlier in this video, and you can see here Dominica South. Here's Barbados, and you can see St. Lucia and Barbados, how on Tuesday we're going to be on the very edge of everything. A little bit of a shift to the south. That could bring us some of the heavier rain in Barbados and St. Lucia. We're going to get some heavy rain at times, right? Just watching the core of this, which should be just to the north. But any shift, you know, in St. Lucia and Barbados, I am watching this, but you can see how just the heaviest rain would be just to the north, but very close, and that's why we're very much monitoring this. And then we'll watch out for some scattered showers and storms south. Not as much in Suriname, scattered showers, Guyana, back toward Venezuela. And if you get some of those downpours in parts of Central America, we could get 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain. Jamaica, we're going to have some scattered showers and storms around over the next couple of days. Yucatan, we could have a few scattered showers and still around Mexico City. So Jamaica, we're looking at a 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers and storms. I'll recap in a moment. Cayman Islands, about a 30% chance the next couple of days. Trinidad and Tobago, 50% chance. I'll watch out for some of those feeder bands that may try to work in with this system up to the north. Barbados, though, you see tomorrow night, as we get into Monday night into Tuesday, our rain chances going up. We'll have some gusty winds around. Same thing in St. Lucia. This is all reflective of this system that is starting to move in, or will eventually move in. 40 to 50% chance in Grenada, 40 to 50% chance St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then you see Martinique, of course, all eyes on Tuesday with what looks to be a tropical storm overhead. We'll do that again in Dominica. In the short term, things are okay. Passing showers, we make those preparations in Guadeloupe. This could roll right overhead, the center of it, as a tropical storm. As we work our way into Tuesday, Antigua and Barbuda, we'll get those bands of rain working in on Tuesday, the high winds at times. St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, all eyes will be on Tuesday. I'll probably bump up this rain chance for us as we work into that time frame on Tuesday. Anguilla and St. Bart's, some heavier weather working in on Tuesday. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, same thing, just kind of monitoring the track. Puerto Rico, watching Wednesday. Wednesday would be the day for heavier weather. Tuesday night into Wednesday for much of the British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Bahamas, just an isolated chance of a shower, 20 to 30% chance. Turks and Caicos, pop-up shower storm. Dominican Republic, isolated shower storm as we work our way back toward Haiti. About a 40% chance in Belize. We'll have some scattered showers and storms around Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire. Not a whole lot. Rain chance about 30% today. With that old tropical wave, we may squeak in a shower. 40 to 50% chance in Guyana. And looking at about a 30 to 40% chance in Suriname. Rain chance isolated pop-up storm across Cuba today. Rain chance about 50 to 60%. Costa Rica, Panama. As we go over the next couple days, Nicaragua, about a 40 to 50% chance. Next 2 days in Honduras, 30 to 40% chance. And about a 50% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. Even 50% chance the next 3 days in Mexico City. And a 40 to 50% chance of some scattered showers. Yucatan and Mexico. Isolated shower in northern Colombia. 40% chance in northern Venezuela. About a 20% chance in Bermuda. Of course, Bermuda, we're watching what happens with this system. So we are in action mode. Continue with those preparations. Please, if you can, spread the word about this, and I'll make those adjustments as need be. I'll be going through your comments throughout the day. This is a wonderful weather community to be part of, where we're really helping each other out through any adverse bad weather. One of the things, though, not only are we going to see some track adjustments, it's that quick intensification, and we've all seen that in the Caribbean. So any signs that this thing is going to get aggressively worse very quickly, I'll let you know. There will be those track shifts, but safety first. So thank you for spreading the word, and thank you for being part of this weather community. Be safe. Continue with those preps in those action areas. I'll be thinking of you throughout the day. Have a good day ahead.